All right, guys, what's up? Long time no see. Quick update, guys. So things look a little bit different if you didn't notice from my last update. Well, it's because I got a new apartment. I'm actually I moved out on my own. I'm no longer rooming with my brother. So pretty happy about that. Pretty dope. It's been a couple months now, so I'm already, for the most part, pretty moved in. Still, I need to furnish it a little bit better, but I digress. So if I look to the left a lot, it's because I have my notes on this side, on this monitor right here that you probably really can't see. The way I want to try and do these videos, I'm going to be editing this video as much as I can, trying to make it as small as I can. I want it to be below 30 minutes. That means I'm going to have to take more time, you know, getting better at saying certain things and getting very succinct so I can edit it down below 30 minutes. I want these like 600, 700, 800, these I want these like every 100-hour updates to be relatively, succinct. Um, and I want to save like the longer drawn out videos for like the, 100 hours, first 500 hours, first 1,000 hours, etc. 1,000 hours, stuff like that. So hopefully we get to a good spot. So I'm making this video. The date of this video is January 12th, 2022. So start of the new year. I think it's a good time since it is the start of the new year. I'm making this video, or yeah, since I'm making this update video at the start of the new year, I think it's a really good time to talk about, goals. What do I feel like I want to do with Spanish? We can also recap what I did the previous year and things like that, and how do I feel going forward, and what do I want to change about my approach, and any modifications and things like that that I want to make. So yeah, we're gonna get into that and figure out how what I want to do there. Okay, so and also I want to recap my fitness goals and what's been going on with fitness. So I think that's gonna be a good place to start. Fitness goals are okay. Right now I'm still in maintenance mode. I've been in maintenance mode for like the last 9 or 10 months, honestly, maybe like the last 8 months. So I'm currently around like 230 pounds. I still technically need 40 pounds more to go. That's kind of to get where I want to get. I want to get to around 190. For y'all who don't know, I started my fitness goal. Was it 2020? No, it was 2021. Yeah. So 2021, the beginning of 2021, New Year's resolution, but it's not quite that same. I was at 287 pounds, and by midway through last year, I got down to like 230, 235, somewhere around there. And so then I was like, all right, cool. I'm tired. Let me chill out on the dieting. Let me chill out on the caloric deficit, and let me just relax and just work on maintaining my weight, keeping my weight down, maintaining it, but don't really try and lose weight. So that went well. Got down. I went about 8 months while being in maintenance. So since I've been in maintenance for about the past 8 months, but what I did notice was that my weight started to creep up a little bit. So I ended up getting up to around 238, 239. And so I was like, okay, Christmas didn't help. You're right. Because of Christmas, because of Thanksgiving, New Year's, because of all that, weight started to go up. So yeah, I gained about 8 or 9 pounds over that, like the last 2 months of the year. And so then I've been spending this whole time, getting my weight back down. So I'm now back down to 230 even, thank God. And so I'm going to now start to transition into start actually losing weight again. But yeah, so that's kind of what I want to do. That's what I'm looking at. And yeah, that's how my weight's been going so far. So goals. So for the year 2020, I want my goal. I want the year of 2020 to be finishing the fight. If for y'all who played Halo 3, finishing the fight. So I want to wrap up my current goals of Spanish and weightlifting, or not weightlifting, Spanish and weight loss specifically. I want to get down to 190 pounds. That's where I want to get down to. High 180s, low 190s. I want to get back down there. I haven't been below 200 pounds in 8 years or so, something like that. So it will be great, since high school basically. It will be great to get back down to 180 pounds or 190 pounds. That would be great. So that's weight loss. That's quite easily defined. But obviously, when we're talking about Spanish isn't or a language isn't something that you stop learning. So what do I mean by I'm going to wrap up my goals? Well, what I mean by that is I want to get to 1,000 hours of active immersion, meaning, reading, watching with 100% of my focus. Bam. Currently, I'm at 644 hours of active immersion. So I want to get I want to get up to 1,000 hours, and I'll explain like what's going to go on, like what am I going to do after 1,000 hours, and etc. But that's kind of what I want to do right now is get up to there, and from that point on, that I will consider that as wrapping it up now, or really wrapping up this phase. So I consider 1,000 hours of active input in Spanish in particular a very good point to where I can mainly focus on output. You know what I mean? Like so far I've been only doing output maybe like once a month. A 1 hour italki tutor lesson like once a month is my output practice really, right? But other than that, that's not really much. I think I have maybe like 30 hours of output maximum. And that's not counting pronunciation practice and stuff like that I did before. That's just purely chatting with somebody. So obviously I'm gonna ramp that up and get to the point, but not italki though. So now I think I'm cool where I'm getting to the point where I don't really necessarily need to get all my output from only italki, because I think so far I've done like 30 italki lessons in Spanish. So, but considering how much I can say for what little time, because if you compare my total active immersion, which is 610 hours or something like that, compared to just my, you know, output practice, it's like pales in comparison. So I think it's good that I can say what I can say now, even though I haven't really made output a priority, right? I've only just kind of dabbled in it when just to kind of get the fluidity, get the muscles going, but I haven't really spent a whole lot of time. And so because of that, I have a lot of holes when I'm trying to chat with somebody. There's so many things I can't say. I'll be able to understand if it's said to me, but I can't say it because I've just never been in situations where I've needed to say it. Like I just learned how to say, one good example of that is I just learned how to say, how was the weather or whatever. I'm like, oh, and somebody might be like, that's crazy. You've been learning Spanish for, and I can't say studying, but you've been learning Spanish for 2 years. How can you just now learn that? Like that makes no sense. Because it's like whenever I'm chatting with my italki tutor, the last thing I want to talk about is the weather, because I don't talk about the weather in English. Like, I mean, you do in small talk, but if you're good buddies with your, 'cause I would say me and my italki tutor is pretty good buddies at this point. I'm not talking. We're talking about normal like guy things. We're not talking about the weather. Who cares about the weather? So it's like it never came up. And I'm watching anime where like there's like mages and explosions and classes and all kinds of crazy. No one's talking about the weather in anime. In a good chunk of my immersion, or in Spanish shows for the most part. It's usually like drugs and money and whatever. It's just like, so it makes sense why I've never really needed to say that, or I never heard someone talk about that, because I've never done small talk in Spanish. You know what I mean? Like outside in the real world, right? So it makes sense basically. So I want to do a boatload of output, like as much as I can once I hit 1,000 hours, to try and fill up those holes so I can actually be able to have small talk and have these things, right? Because there's a lot of holes in my vocabulary because I've only, I immerse in like fantasy books or anime, or like, El Dragon is like, what is that from? That's from, it's on Netflix. It's about, like drug empires, that kind of stuff, that kind of malarkey. Did I just say malarkey? So once I hit 1,000 hours, I want to spend a lot of hours. I want to get like 50 hours of output, right? Of pure conversation practice. But not with italki. That's too much money. But with blokes on the internet, I already got a pretty good Discord channel of like language exchange server that I'm going to be in there, or in VR chat, and having a boatload of conversation practice, specifically with the goal of talking, 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 talking. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be my goal once I hit 1,000 hours. So I want to hit 1,000 hours first. You know, like I said, iron out any kind of things like that, and then honestly, I'm gonna be good. Like I'm gonna still obviously watch stuff in Spanish and do stuff in Spanish, but I'm probably not gonna be tracking hours after this year. This is probably gonna be honestly the last year of me tracking hours. Um, it might be the last year of update videos. I don't know, but like once I get to the point where I can say what I want to say, I'm already at the point where I can comfortably watch like dubs for the most part, and I can read. I would say I can watch shows with Spanish subtitles and understand a lot of the plot, right? Majority of the plot, probably like a level. I would say probably like level 4 comprehension. Yeah, if there's subtitles, without subtitles, probably level 3. But level 4 with subtitles, probably level 5. A lot of the times, obviously depends on genre. So it's like I'm cool with where that is. Give me 400 more hours on top of that, and I feel like that'll push me up into like the comfortable level 4 or level 5 area in most cases, in which I'm perfectly cool with that. Like that's kind of where my goals is. I just want to be able to output at a very high level next, right? And then refine my reading and things like that. And I gotta learn about slang and a lot of stuff. But for the most part, I'm kind of getting to the end of where I want my Spanish to be. Do I consider myself fluent? No. I would say there's moments where I have fluent moments, or when I can express myself in a fluent manner in parts, but there's just so many holes in my grammar, or not my grammar. There's so many holes in my like knowledge that I'll be fluent saying this one sentence. In the next sentence, I'll be like, I have no idea how to say this. So to me, that's not really fluent, right? Fluent is even if you don't necessarily know how to say it, you can still maneuver around and get your point across. You know what I mean? Like without, plus like I haven't even fully got down like conjugations, right? Because conjugations, I get them, I understand them, I can use them, but in the spur of the moment, it can get kind of difficult. Like, this one, right? Oh, subjunctive. Oh, this one. Whatever. So I don't even fully have conversation conjugations down, right? In terms of in speak. So it's like I'm definitely not fluent if I can't conjugate comfortably without really too much thought. Um, Most of the time I can, but there's a lot of times I can't. So, actually, I want to talk about the subjunctive real quick. So, what's going on with the subjunctive? I can understand the subjunctive. I get the point of it, right? And all that. I just can't use the subjunctive, or it feels very weird. My brain doesn't really know when to use it and when not to use it. Sometimes I think it's right and it's not right and whatever. So what I'm doing right now, I have this plan for the subjunctive, which I've already actually started doing. When I bought a book for the subjunctive, which I'm going to be perusing through, reading through. I'm not going to read the whole thing cover to cover, nothing like that, but I'm going to be perusing through it and kind of getting what I can from it. But what I'm mainly doing is when I'm reading books on the computer, I'm going to be highlighting or underlining, really underlining every time I see the subjunctive, and I'm gonna have I'm gonna have a list on my next monitor next to me of all the subjunctive triggers and why the subjunctive is used in this case, and all the use cases of the subjunctive basically. And so when I run into the subjunctive, I'll underline it, and then I'll be like, all right, why did they use the subjunctive here? And I'll point to one of the reasons why they use the subjunctive there, and then move on, and then read the story like I normally would, and then boom, highlight that again. They use the subjunctive again here. Why did they use the subjunctive here? And then point to, you know what I mean? And so now that way, it'll get me to notice the subjunctive. It'll get me to notice the subjunctive, and it'll also get me to be able to understand like the reasons of why they use the subjunctive, or like in this case or in this situation. And hopefully over time that'll help me, so when I'm speaking I can use the subjunctive, like I'll have that intuition of I should use it here for this or whatever. So hopefully I'm gonna do that more. I've already been doing that, but I'm gonna be really, that's gonna be a big part of how I get used to the subjunctive, and we'll be able to use it in, you know everyday situations and things like that without too much fuss. Okay, let's talk about my comprehension. How do I feel about my comprehension? I like my comprehension. I like where it's at. I'm proud of where I got with my comprehension, but it still needs to be better. I still struggle with comprehension in, heavy background noise type levels. I still struggle when it comes, there's a lot of holes in my comprehension when it comes to slang and very casual ways of talking. Um, you know, um, which I think a lot of the conversation practice I'm going to be planning on doing will help a lot with that. But again, my comprehension is a lot more solid than it used to be, but it's still kind of shaky. It's not nowhere near where it would be for like English. So I'm liking where my comprehension's at. I'm proud of where it is. I feel like I got a pretty good base or well-rounded nature to my comprehension, but again, need more hours because I still feel like it's kind of shaky. I can pretty comfortably watch dubs at around about a four, level four comprehension, level five, some at times depending on the dub. Um, Sometimes most of the time I'm just lacking vocabulary, which is but it's not like I understand everything they said but this word. So I'm usually just lacking that specific vocabulary that they're using. So yeah, but then there's other times where I just didn't don't understand the structure of it or what they're saying or whatever. But anyway, I digress. Usually, that dubbed anime is around is a solid level four, sometimes level five, creeping up to level five every now and again. Not native shows are if they're Spanish subbed, then they're level four comprehension with subtitles or level five, same as dubbed. But if there's no subs, then it's like a level three, and it's sometimes level four. So again, it's still not quite, but probably level five with subs. Honestly, mostly level five, sometimes level four. Again, lacking vocabulary with subs, but in more colloquial manners of speech because I listen just due to the things I listen to. I tend to listen to very formal things or scripted things or shows stuff like that where it's not street talk. Or I'll watch a lot of YouTube videos, but also YouTube videos are also scripted, so it's like point being the same. um so yeah, YouTube videos generally, if it's YouTubers I'm familiar with, generally level 5 comprehension most times. um and if I'm not familiar with them, level 4. Like I'll be able to comfortably understand what the video is talking about. Except for Spaniards, sometimes there's certain Spaniard accents that are really tough for me, or just every now and then it's just weird. I don't know. I have a weird love hate relationship with the Spaniard accent. I'm liking where my comprehension's at for the most part. Still, again, I think after 400 hours, I'll be at a much better place. That's what that's what I want to do. I think I'll be at a much better place, and that I'll be cool with that. Also, like when I'm talking with my italki teacher, it's very rare for me to not understand what he's saying. Like very rare. Like I don't remember the last time when he said something I didn't understand what he meant. Unless he like, unless he said use the vocabulary word, then yeah, that's like different thing. But yeah, so generally like with my comprehension at, it's around level 4, level 5. Level 3 native show without subs. Level 5 with subs probably most times. Level 4 uh, on average, just whatever. Take that how it is, I guess. I don't even know. It's kind of these levels are so arbitrary anyway that my brain is kind of like I don't even know anymore. But yeah, I guess I'm still 2C on the Discord, but I guess I'm probably in stage 3. I've probably been in stage 3 for a while, honestly. But yeah, I don't really care. I like the thought of being internal C2 2C, so that's cool. Um, in terms of my abilities on the Common European Framework of References, and the A1, A2, B1, B2, etc., definitely would say I'm around B2. Um, Still B1, B2, but definitely I lean more toward B2 than I do B1 now. Definitely solidly B2. Still, again, my output is significantly limited. So output is still probably upper B1. Comprehension is solid mid to high B2. Um, Reading is B2, like yeah, in that area. So I would say the difference between where I am now at the 600 hour mark, or 640 technically, and the 500 hour mark is everything's just gradual. It's just another, everything just feels a bit more solid than it was, right? There's no grand revelations. I'm pretty much well aware of the process at this point. It's just doing more of it, you're going to get there. Everything, right? There's no crazy modifications you need to do. You just need more of it and need to, make slight alterations. Like I said, what I'm doing with the subjunctive and how I'm trying to get that, tackle that. And, you just casually look up things over and over time, over, dozens and dozens and dozens, and if not hundreds of hours, it'll correct itself. So it, I'm in no way worried about whatever what am I if whether what I am doing currently is correct or not. It's more so just a question of, does it am I doing enough of it? That's all this really is. So the difference between 600 hours and 500 hours is really just a difference of, natives are a little bit more clear, things are just a little bit more understandable. I don't mean like a little bit. I mean, it's a good chunk. It's like a good chunk more understandable, but it's still, not where I want to be. Like I said, it's extremely gradual. You just gotta enjoy what you gotta enjoy it. You gotta do it, and and take it on a different time scale. Like language learning thing has really shifted how I look at improvement and progress. Right, where I'm way more patient with improvement and progress and things like that than I would be for, another skill. Because other skill, you learn it. I was learning this new trick, in soccer, and like I kind of had it down in like 3 or 4 days, and it's like that's kind of crazy because you don't have anything down in language learning in 3 or 4 days. Like nah, you know what I mean? Like nah. So you just gotta learn the. You gotta just kind of be patient, take everything in stride, and kind of put your head down and look up every now and again to see how you progress. But in a moment to moment, you don't need to be thinking about, oh, you don't need to be anal about every little thing. You just gotta, you get it, you down, if you get it down, great. If you don't, cool. Try again in a month or so and see how if you got any better at it. Did you get it? Great. If you didn't, cool. Try again in a couple months. You know what I mean? Like it's way more laissez-faire, I guess, or way more just go with the flow. Really looking at it on a different time scale. Like I said, I'm looking at 400 hours like it's like, I'm looking at it like it's not really like it's tomorrow, but just like, yeah, I'm talking 400 hours is a lot of time. And even in the time between these update videos, it's like 100 days or so in between these, update videos, or probably more than 200 days. I think 200 days is like the last, videos. Like these are long period stretches of time, man. Like we're talking, like it's like an 8 month difference, and I'm just a little bit better, or like a good chunk better, but not. I didn't double scale, I didn't get 50% better. No, I'm gonna talk about this. So this past year, 2021, I thought I was doing really bad, and I technically still did do bad in terms of Spanish. Didn't do as good as I would have wanted, but in retrospect, I'm still really proud of what I did, because I think in the year 2021 I managed to do like 230 hours of active immersion, something like that. So 2020, for retrospect, in 2020 I did 430 hours, and now in 2022 I did 240 hours or something like that. So it's like half, but I'm still like pretty happy with what I did. I thought it was honestly worse. Still pretty happy with that. Considering all the things I was dealing with and all the things that was going on, I'm still pretty happy with 200 or so hours, 200 something hours. Yeah, so I'm really happy with the time I did. I'm hoping that, like I said, I'm trying to get 400 hours this year, which, like I said, is very doable. I can definitely do it. I just need to create a good enough system. For those of you who read Atomic Habits, need to create a pretty good system, which I already got a pretty good system in place for just immersion in general, but it's very, no pressure, here, there. So I just need to make a hit more of a quota per month, and I think I should be all right. And then, like I said, after that, once I get to 1,000 hours, I'm gonna be outputting like a mofo. So I'm gonna be trying to output as much as I can. Like I said, I want to rack up anywhere from 50 to 100 hours of pure just conversation practice, which is like I said, for Heinz retrospect, I only have around like 30 something hours of output now total. So if I'm trying to get 50 to 100 hours, I'm trying to like more than double that. So yeah, I think, and then at that point, I think I'll be happy with Spanish, and I can, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna enjoy Spanish stuff. I'm gonna watch Spanish stuff. I'm gonna be cool. I'm gonna have fun with it. But I'm gonna be cool with the whole tracking hours and update videos and doing all that. And I want to travel to like. Then I wanted to, end that by like traveling to Mexico or traveling to like Guatemala or someplace like that, and cap off my kind of journey with that. Traveling there, having fun, maybe going to some kind of like language school or something like that. That would be kind of cool. A lot of people would enjoy that. I'd love that. Um, Living there, going to like some kind of language school and be done with it. So that's kind of where I want to go right now. That's kind of like what the rough outline is looking like. And then after that, like I'm technically done with Spanish, but not done in the sense that I stopped like learning, but done in the sense that like I would have achieved the level or the point in Spanish that I'd want to, and it would just kind of be chilling after that. So yeah, so that's kind of what this whole year is just going to be: finishing the fight, capping off the year with achieving my weight loss goal and achieving my Spanish goal. Eh. Um, and then I'll have to create a new habit, or what's the next thing I want to work on. Hopefully, it's not going to require hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours like Spanish and fitness is. So yeah, hopefully not, because these are very, very involved and very, very difficult goals that I set for myself. So hopefully my next goal will be a little bit easier, you know. But knowing me, probably not. Probably not. But yeah, anyway, so I think that's kind of where that is. I'm pretty cool, pretty happy overall with where I'm at with Spanish, and I can kind of see the finish line. It's still far away, but it's like I see where I want to get with it, because so far I've been very critical of myself in pretty much every step of the process, but I can see where I want to end up. And yes, that won't mean I'm perfect. That won't mean I'm like C2 amazing. My Spanish is like amazing. I understand everything. Like, no, that doesn't mean that. It just means that all the things I set out for myself to do, I can do. And I've kind of hit where I want to hit with that. And now I'm just kind of like coasting and having fun with it, right? Now we just have fun. That's just where I want to get to now. Given that, so those kind of like my goals and the outlook, and where do I see my Spanish for the year 2022 and beyond. But this is gonna be like the last year of me tracking or creating us like having this system, very systematic thing, and tracking and being very involved. It's been very helpful for me. I haven't gotten buried in numbers. It just lets me know when I've been BSing, and like it's just for me, tracking my numbers really helps in terms of just pure amount of hours. It's not telling me saying $600 doesn't necessarily mean that I'm good at Spanish. It just means I've put in 600 hours of work in Spanish. You know what I mean? So it's like, and you can't tell me that doesn't mean you're gonna have some kind of progress at the end of that. So, oh, actually, I've actually got into audiobooks, Spanish audiobooks. So that's cool. Just wanted to add some random tidbit on that. Spanish audiobooks are pretty cool. I don't like the fact that everybody like they're predominantly Spanish. That's kind of annoying because again, I prefer the more Latin American, a more Latin American uh, dialect. But it seems like the majority of the popular audiobooks or the popular books have Spanish audio. So yeah, I also want to talk about my output ability, the difference from output ability when I'm speaking. Um, like my output ability now from when I made the last video is a lot more comfortable for given for how like just few hours in general I still have. It's a lot more comfortable than it was previously, but it's still not fluent. It's still not fluent. And I'm not one of those people that have like a very very high bar what fluency is. Like no, I think fluency my definition of fluency is just you're able to speak with fluidity, where I mean you're able to speak and express your ideas in a very flowing and coherent manner. And when you run into something you don't know how to say or anything like that, you can kind of maneuver around it to get your point across. I would say that's fluent. That doesn't mean you know exactly how to say every single thing in every single situation, but you're able to kind of maneuver it around and get what you want to say without having to revert to like English or whatever your native language is. So that's what I consider fluency. And so I would say I'm still not there because I have just too many, you know, shotgun sized chunks in my ability that doesn't even let me maneuver around, right? Because like me trying to maneuver around a point or trying to express a point in a more of a different way requires more, you know, there you I just find more holes and it still gets very difficult to express what I want to say. So I wouldn't consider myself fluent at this current point. I'm close I'm getting close, right? Where I'll have my little moments where I'm expressing something in a very fluent manner, but it's just only just a matter of time before I hit like a dead end. I'm just like how do I how do I say this right? Like right. But it's good. I'm not translating though, so I'm at a point where I'm not really translating. It's just my brain is blank. I don't know how to say this. Like I don't have not even the slightest idea of how to express this thought. So it's kind of like up in the air. Like I'm not fluent, but I'm not far away. But by not far away, I'm still kind of far. You know. So that's kind of why I want to get a little bit more output, get up to 1,000 hours. You know, and then really ramp up my output as much as I can, get as fluent as I can with output, and then done. Fiend, drop the mic. Out. I do like a conclusion. I do a final like conclusion to this whole Spanish through immersion journey, you know, and feel how I want to do that, wrap it up, and call it a day or call it a life or something. I don't know. And then, you know, obviously I'll watch like shows and stuff like that, but I don't have my timer. I'm not timing hours and I'm not doing anything like that. Because I think at this point, once I get to 1,000 hours, tracking time has served its it's like served its purpose. Like I won't need it anymore after that point. There's no point in tracking. There's no point in doing any of that. I've hit where I want to hit. I like where I'm at. Not now, but obviously in this point in the future. And so yeah, hopefully like that's kind of where I'm at right now with it, and that's kind of how where I see that's where I see where I want to go with the Spanish language and things like that. And there might be another language that I want to get into, but it won't be anytime soon. Like I want to take a break. I want to take a break from language learning and do another hobby that's not language learning. I think maximum I could only learn like one more language because max. I'm not somebody who like gets excited and looks, you know, loves dabbling in a billion different languages. Like I'm cool with like three or four, right? So I already speak, you know, like Esperanto, Spanish, obviously English, but I really don't count that. So Esperanto, Spanish. I can see myself learning like one more language, like tops, like one more language tops. Maybe four if I'm like 50 or 60, I'm like whatever, I don't care. I'm 60. What else do I got to do? You know, then that doesn't count. But like I'm talking about before in my 20s and 30s, like three. I only got like one more language in my belt that I'm like willing to put this much energy and focus and consistency into, you know, doing. But it also helps me in other aspects of my life too. Just this endeavor is helped me in other aspects of my life that I'm really thankful for. So, you know, it's cool. I just, you know, oh God, I'm tired of sucking. I'm tired of spending like 3 or 4 years or something and still sucking, or but just sucking significantly less than you sucked before. It's like, jeez. you still suck though. It's like, I want to be good at something again. Jeez. But yeah. Okay. Y ahora supongo que es el momento para hablar un poco en español, para demostrarte que, para hacer una demostración que puedo hablar un poco y supongo que, hmm, ¿qué es el tema que quiero hablar o que quiero decir? ¿Qué es algo que quiero decir en español que... mm, supongo que ese viaje es muy largo y claro que y toma mucho tiempo, pero aún así me gusta mucho el nivel que tengo ahora mismo y hay hay muchos momentos cuando me siento muy orgulloso y, y también hay momentos que me da que me dan vergüenza, pero me siento muy impresionante que puedo hablar y que puedo, ah, que podría hacer muchas cosas en español y por supuesto puedo decir o tengo la capacidad de decir muchas cosas sencillas en español y podría expresarme más o menos, y depende de muchas cosas. Por ejemplo, si quería hablar sobre mi día a día, creo que eso me cuesta un poco de trabajo, me cuesta trabajo para expresar mi di- expresar el día, mi día normal, creo, o promedio, no sé cuál palabra sea el mejor, pero y también creo que para hablar, oh, ok, supongo que quiero decir eso. Prefiero, por ejemplo, ahora, ok, que no puedo decidir de qué quiero hacer o qué quiero decir. Decidir, ¿sí? O es elegir. No puedo elegir cuál tema quiero decir primero, pero creo que quiero hablar un poco sobre la comprensión, por ejemplo, o la capacidad de entender. Desde mi punto de vista, creo que la comprensión es lo más, o es la más difícil, de hacer. En el aprendizaje de los idiomas, creo que entender lo que la persona está diciendo a ti es lo más difícil de hacer, em, entre todos los capacidades o todo entre todas las cosas. Por ejemplo, sí, hay muchas personas que quieren hablar o que quieren tener la capacidad de decir algo, pero a mí sí requiere mucho trabajo y requiere mucho tiempo para hablar y para expresarse, pero también no necesito o no necesitas el tiempo, el mismo tiempo o la misma tiempo, no, no, el mismo tiempo para tener un buen nivel en la habla o en su habilidad de hablar como para entender. No sé si esto era correcto, pero ¿qué quiero decir? Tener la capacidad de entender es una cosa muy difícil para mí. Es una cosa que, por ejemplo, eh, las personas o la gente o los hispanohablantes tienen muchos acentos. Así que, y también usen palabras muy distintas o palabras que no son igual o tienen, es la, o quizás es la misma palabra, pero significa algo diferente. En ese caso es es muy difícil es una reto, no es una desafío o es un problema de que no puede entender si esa persona usa una palabra muy distinta o que nunca lo ha escuchado antes. Am, pero si necesitas hablar, solamente necesitas hablar o decir las cosas que tú puedes. Por ejemplo, o que tú puedas. Solamente necesitas las palabras que tú puedas. Pero, y por mí, o para mí, creo que es muy importante establecer una fundación o una base en la comprensión antes de comenzar a hablar. Y, y a mí, por ejemplo, yo solo tengo 30 horas de práctica en mi capacidad de hablar. Así que, pero más o menos puedo expresarme, decir muchas cosas o decir muchas cosas o conversar o tener una charla con una persona. Ya tengo ese nivel después de 30 horas. Es algo muy fácil. Pero no importa si podría hablar, pero sí, ok, no, creo que eso es importante mencionar. Em, Alguien puede progresar muy rápido o rápidamente en su habla si tiene una base en la comprensión. Por ejemplo, yo solo gastaba 30 horas de práctica, más o menos tengo que controlarla antes de subir este video, pero yo podría hacerlo o yo pudiera hacerlo porque ya, ya tengo 644 horas, algo así, en el input o en el inmersión antes de comenzar a hablar. O no, de hecho, comenzaba a hablar cuando tenía 400 horas o algo en ese rango, 400, 500 o 500, sí, algo así. Creo que era en ese punto que comenzaba a hablar, pero eso no importa. Am, ya tengo un montón de horas antes de comenzar a hablar. Creo que eso es algo muy importante que alguien debe hacer antes de comenzar a hablar. Am, y si hay otra cosa que quiero decir, espero que me entiendes, espero que me entiendas, ¿me entiendas? Sí, espero que me entiendas ese punto, pero porque no estoy seguro si podría expresar mi punto de vista correctamente o exactamente, pero no sé si es tan importante. Mm, quiero ver si hay otra cosa que quiero mencionar antes de terminar este video. No sé. Mm, hay momentos interesantes en mi, pero o hay momentos cuando tenía que hablar o con una persona o algo así o no. Creo que no. Em, Me siento más cómodo o sí, me siento más cómodo cuando hablo con mis amigos en español, pero no realmente, no es solamente digo las frases solamente digo las frases, o muchas, las frases cortas o cortos, las frases cortas. Así que no es como tenemos una conversación muy larga en español, ¿no? Pero es un poco difícil porque las personas son bilingüe, mis amigos son bilingüe, así que podría hablar español e inglés, pero nuestra amistad o nuestra relación era totalmente en inglés primero. Así que es un poco raro si trata de, si, si trata de hacerle a mis amigos, no sé, si trato de cambiar nuestro relación en español, es un poco raro. Así que, y por eso solamente trato de decir cosas básicas o muchas cosas sencillas en español, pero no son tan largas. No son tan largas o tan largas, no sé. Ay, no, de nuevo, no puedo hablar, no puedo decir nada. Am, pero creo que creo que quiero proteger a esta relación, a esa amistad y no quiero cambiarlo especialmente si no tengo el nivel suficiente para conversar, para decir las cosas que quiero decir exactamente o em, con mucha, ¿cómo se dice? Especificio, creo. O exactamente. Quiero tener la capacidad de hablar o de decir a lo que quiero decir exactamente, exactamente. No sé, no sé cuál es mejor, pero eh, sí, creo que es algo importante, pero espero que después de ese punto este año pueda tener un nivel o que puedo tener un nivel de cuando, cuando puedo expresarme, decir cualquier cosa o en cualquier situación totalmente en español sin problemas. Pero no estoy, pero sin embargo no estoy tan seguro si podría hacer algo así, pero no sé exactamente si eso ah, va, no sé cómo se dice eso, pero como puedes ver, sí puedo hablar más o menos, pero aún tengo muchos problemas de cómo expresar una idea, pero cállate, es algo, es algo muy interesante porque no sé exactamente cómo. No tengo que traducir en mi mente, sí, de verdad. No tengo que traducir para nada, pero es como cuando tengo que hablar algo, mi mente, ¿cómo se dice? Ay, am, helado, se helada, mm, se congelado, algo así, no sé. Mi mente era se congelado, coge- co- mi mente detendré, supongo, o detendrá, o no, no, mi mente para por un momento porque no sé cómo decir esa cosa, pero porque no sé cómo decir esa cosa, pero como puedes ver, como puedes ver, no puedo decir lo que quiero decir y eso es un problema y espero que después de 1000 horas de práctica del input, espero que podría o que pudiera, no, espero que pudiera tener ese nivel eh, que a donde puedo hablar o puedo decir todo, o no decir todo, porque tampoco los nativos pueden decir todo, pero me entiendes un poco, me entiendes. Pero sí, creo que eso es todo. Quiero terminar ese video. Y yo también tengo que mostrar los documentos, creo que tengo que hacer eso también. Y redactar este video cuando no sé cómo se dice edit, pero no importa. Alright, creo que eso es todo. Um, yeah, switch to English now. Okay, whatever. So you can see like my output is kind of shaky. It's better. It feels a little bit more fluent. Um, but again, it got holes. I still can't remember that word. It's like to freeze or congelado, I think. Something like that. I don't remember. Congelar, I think. I don't know. My brain was like, my brain is like, I don't know. But again, it's not that I don't know the word, it's that I haven't used the word, right? I've never used that word before. And I've seen it. I've seen it a lot, but I've never used the word. And so that's a problem. I hope you can see, you hope you can see kind of where my progress is. And like I said, I think that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully I can edit it down to a reasonable length. And I guess I'll just post up all the things that I wanted from this video and yeah, see where we're at. So it's probably going to be long. Hopefully it's not though. We'll see. All right, guys. Catch you later. See you at 700 hours. And yeah, probably going to be more the same. Hopefully I can trim that down more. Hopefully we'll see how long this video is. Hopefully it's not that long.